So now we will explore our Android Studio a little bit. So this is your Android Studio opening page after it has been installed. A list of recent projects available on the left. You may start a new Android project, open an existing one. Then you can also check out something from a version control like GitHub as explained. And then you can also import a project and even an Android code sample to fiddle with. Then we also have an SDK manager here. So basically what happens before you start out on Android programming, you basically have to also download some libraries from the Google repository. So these kind of libraries include many things that you have. You may also click launch standalone SDK manager, as the current version of Android Studio I'm using is 2. And then you can do many things around with your Android Studio. Now let us see how to create a new project. You click on start a new Android Studio project here. After you click start a new Android Studio project, you have to type the name of your application. Then you have to type your company domain, which should end with .com, and at last the package name will be automatically created for you by using the reverse order, such as com.abhishekmathur.application as in my case. Make sure to check this box if you are planning to use C++ integration in your app later on. And also you can specify your project location. Click on next. Now you can specify on which platform your app will run. Now here for each platform you have to specify minimum SDK that will be supported. For example, this may change. If you want to support newer devices, switch on to a newer SDK. That's a standard development kit level, but the number of devices supported will be lesser. So it is safe to go to 15, I think. Also, if you have planning to go for a lower API level, then you have to make sure your Android app supports all the API levels. Click on next. Then you have to choose the initial activity that you have to start with. For example, if I choose a basic activity to start making my app with, I will choose a basic activity, or you may even choose a new activity and then click next. Finally, you have to define that activity. So by default the name is given main activity, and you can also specify the title that will appear in the launcher, and you may also use a fragment. Then the content will be automatically made into a fragment. Remember, this is you are adding a new activity, and all the things and settings for adding your Android project is done. Just click on finish, and then automatically Android Studio will create the project for you. Now meanwhile, let us learn about Android SDK manager. So this is the SDK manager that you have. In that you have the libraries by listed from the Android list repository online. You also have extras in which you have the Google APIs by Google, and this is needed for many things including Google Maps, Google Services. Now if you have not installed this library, make sure you install as much these libraries as you can except the images. Google USB driver is needed to run the projects from the studio if you are planning to debug it on your phone itself. Then you can see main SDK platform of each API. Now make sure you include this, otherwise you won't be able to develop for that particular API version. And under the tools, you have to download any one of these tools with the latest revision. After selecting whatever you have to install, you can take mark it. These system images are usually meant for the Android Virtual Manager or AVD, Android Virtual Device Manager, that can be used. So basically, if you don't own an Android phone and still want to develop Android apps, you can create a virtual device in the Android AVD Manager and then run your apps there and debug it live. So for example, if I want to install this package, I will click this, click on install. Then the terms of agreement of all the packages will be shown to me. Just click on accept license if you want to accept the whole license, or you can accept each item individually or even reject them. Just click on install and Android Studio will automatically start installing. Click here if you want to stop installing and plan to install these packages later on. Remember, Android also gives tools and hints every time there's any problem, such as updating your Gradle version. You may also run your app by opening up any Android activity, clicking on this green button, run, selecting your device, or it may be a live or a real Android device or a virtual device, and then clicking OK. As soon as your debugging has started, it will be the related things will be automatically shown in your Android monitor, which will show your log of your application and also allow you to take screenshots of it. Android applications are usually based on the Gradle, and the current interface is described by Eclipse. Now in Gradle you can define the maximum heap size and the settings which you will use for compiling the application. As you start your project, Android automatically executes tasks, cleans all the code, compiles Gradle's files and everything else for you. So this is how you can get started on your Android programming. Make sure you sync your Gradle every time you make changes to it. And also Android Manifest plays an important part, as I will explain you later on through the tutorials.